Hello everyone, and welcome back to First Chapter Sneak Peeks. Where I'm sitting today is in our new in-between area, and I'm sitting on these fun modular blocks, and behind me is our new graphic novel collection. The three books I've chosen for you today, we're going to get started. The first one is called Captain Awesome. These are all series books, and the Captain Awesome series is by Stan Kirby. And the first book in the series is Captain Awesome to the Rescue. "Where's my Captain Awesome cape?" Eugene grumbled as he searched his closet. He tossed clothes back over his head, covering a stack of Super Dude comic books. "Psst, want to know a secret? It's the hugest, giganticest, enormous secret ever. The boy looking for his cape is not just 8-year-old Eugene McGillicuddy, son of Ned and Betsy, and brother to his little sister Molly. He's also the superhero known as Captain Awesome. Say it out loud. Captain Awesome." Eugene came up with that name himself. That's one of the cool things about being a superhero. You get to pick your own name. And if you're making up your own superhero name, it shouldn't be something lame like Captain Just Okay. It should be mighty, like Captain Awesome Mighty. Eugene plopped on the pile of clothes and crossed his arms. "Next time I'll remember to follow superhero rule number 1. Never let your mom take your superhero stuff when you're moving to a new town. I bet Super Dude's mom never lost his cape." Wait, you've never heard of Super Dude? He's only the coolest, bravest, heroist superhero of all time, and the one responsible for Eugene becoming Captain Awesome. It all started the day Eugene's dad gave him his copy of Super Dude number 1. Sure, it might have looked like he was just giving Eugene the comic so he wouldn't tell his mother who ate the last of the chocolate chip ice cream, but Eugene knew what his dad was secretly telling him. Since he's too busy with work and dad stuff like mowing lawns and telling Eugene to keep his elbows off the dinner table and eating the last of his mom's chocolate chip ice cream, it was up to Eugene to save the world from now on. Eugene and his family had just moved to a new town for his dad's job called Sunnyview. He worked for Cherry Computers. Cherries on top. "Eugene," his mom called from downstairs. "Can you please come down when you get a chance? I want to talk to you about school." "Oh, great. First she loses my cape, and now she wants to talk about school?" Eugene looked at the calendar on his wall. "And tomorrow's my first day. Hooray!" By hooray, I really mean barf. "I don't want to go to a new school." Eugene fell backward into his clothes pile and covered his head with his pajamas. Things were really getting desperate. First his cape was missing, and now school talk? Yuck. Could today get any worse? Eugene leaped to his feet and struck a superhero pose. Eugene stopped and yanked the pajamas off his face. "This isn't the time to worry about barf and new schools," Eugene said, and punched his hand into his palm. "I need to find my cape, or Captain Awesome won't be able to protect Sunnyview from the evil doings of bad guys like Queen Stinky Pants, Baron Von Booger, or Dr. Spinach. Letting the bad guys win is worse than homework on a weekend." Evildoers all over Sunnyview had better beware, because Captain Awesome was going to ferret them out just like a ferret stuff, except he'll be wearing a superhero outfit and he won't have a furry tail. Captain Awesome will give bad guys his famous 1-2 punch and tell them to change their ways and become good guys, or he'll tell their parents. And if you think the Captain Awesome 1-2 punch sounds scary, you should see a supervillain's angry parents. Bad guys hate to lose, but they hate being grounded even more. But instead of fighting evil this morning, Eugene was digging through all the boxes in his new bedroom looking for his superhero cape. I'll bet Super Dude never had days like this, Eugene sighed. And that's when Eugene heard it, the evil goo and ga of his arch enemy, Queen Stinky Pants from Planet Baby. If you choose to check out this book and continue reading, the next chapter is The Attack of Queen Stinky Pants. Again, that was Captain Awesome to the Rescue by Stan Kirby. My next book is a little different, The Adventures of Sophie Mouse. This is by Poppy Green, and the first book in this series is A New Friend. Chapter 1, Spring has sprung. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Outside the mouse family's cottage, a bumblebee zipped from flower to flower. Sitting at her easel in the sunshine, Sophie Mouse put down her paintbrush. Her eyes followed the bee. Oh, to be able to fly, she thought. I could see every inch of Silver Lake Forest, maybe even to the other side of Forget-Me-Not Lake. I wonder how fast a bee flies when he really gets going. What would it be like to fly to the schoolhouse for the first day of school tomorrow? What would Sophie, Sophie, her father's voice called out, snapping her out of her daydream. He was in the doorway of their cottage, which was nestled in between the roots of an oak tree. Are you done with your chores? George Mouse asked. When you are, you can go see Mom at the bakery. She's making nutmeg popovers today. Sophie's little nose twitched. She was sure she could already smell the sweet scent. Nutmeg popovers were one of her mother's specialties. At her bakery in Pine Needle Grove, Lily Mouse surely would have started making the batter at dawn before Sophie was even awake. Sophie hated to stop painting. It was the first spring day warm enough to paint outside, but she had a little sweeping to do if she wanted to go to the bakery. Sophie hurried inside and found the willow twig broom. She had already swept the 3 small bedrooms upstairs. Just the main floor was left, under the toadstool table and birch branch stools, and around the spun silk couch. Sophie swept all the corners of the kitchen. Then she swept the pile of leaf bits and dust right out the front door. Dad, I'm finished, she called. I'm going by Hattie's house on the way to the bakery. Hattie Frog was Sophie's best friend. Just then, way back in the rear of the cottage, a mouse's head popped up through a hole in the floor. It was Sophie's little brother, Winston. He was cleaning up the root cellar. I want to come too, Winston called. Sophie sighed. Winston was 6. She'd been stuck inside the cottage with him for most of the winter vacation. Now that the weather was warming up, he wanted to tag along with Sophie everywhere. Have you finished your chores? Mr. Mouse asked Sophie's brother. There was a long silence. When Winston answered, his voice was quiet. Not yet. Well, finish up then, Mr. Mouse replied. You and I can go later. Sophie leaned her broom against the wall by the front door. Then she was off with an extra spring in her step. It wasn't that Sophie didn't like her brother. They had fun playing together, but Sophie was 2 years older. And it was the very last day of vacation. She wanted to fill it with 8-year-old adventures. Halfway to the stream, Sophie heard a rustle in the tall reeds to her right. She stopped in her tracks. Hello? Is someone there? Sophie called out. She perked up her ears, listening carefully, but all was silent and still. Sophie's eyes scanned the reeds. She thought she could just make out a shadowy shape among them. She squinted and took a step closer. Now Sophie was sure. Someone was in there. But who was it? If you continue reading The Adventures of Sophie Mouse, a New Friend, you can go to Chapter 2, A Perfect Day, and I bet you know who that's going to be. That was Book 2. Book 3 is something even different than the other two books. It's called the Time Jumpers series. This is by Wendy Mass, and the first book in the series is called Stealing the Sword. Chapter 1, The Adventure Begins. Sold! Chase shouts. His younger sister, Ava, hands the cat sculpture to their latest happy customer. Ever since Chase turned 9.5, his parents have let him and Ava help out at their flea market booth. This made their 4th sale today. They'd also sold 2 chipmunks, an elf, and a tree. Some people might think you can't make art out of string, playing cards, marbles, candy bar wrappers, and rubber bands, but you totally can. Your parents made these sculptures? The woman asks, handing her money to Chase. Yup, Chase replies. Where most people see trash, our parents see treasure. They call it found art. He doesn't mention that when Ava was little, she called it fart for short. This made them all laugh, even Mom, who claimed she was only coughing. Our parents' regular jobs are pretty stressful, Ava adds, handing the woman her change. They carry briefcases and wear boring shoes. She wrinkles her nose like she smells something bad. Chase tries not to laugh. No one would ever call his sister's rhinestone-covered tie-dyed sneakers boring. The woman hugs her new purchase as she walks away. Ava snaps a picture with the camera she keeps around her neck. Chase high-fives Ava just as their mom turns around. You two are getting along nicely, she says. We make a good team, Chase admits. Mom, the flea market closes soon. Can Chase and I go shop at the other booths? Ava asks. Their mom hands them $4 each. Stick together and be home by 5 for dinner. We will, Chase promises. Chase and Ava hop on their bikes and ride deep into the flea market. Who knows what treasures they'll find? Or what will find them? If you choose to continue reading Time Jumpers by Wendy Mass, Stealing the Sword, the next chapter is An Old Suitcase. I'm definitely interested. Thanks so much for joining me for first chapter sneak peeks, and I hope to see you in the library soon.